Continuity of agenda continues in the United States. President Joe Biden was on the phone with the president of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin. And what do you think Joe Biden did? Do you think that he's turning over a new leaf and he's going to have a fresh start with Russia? No, he's going to repeat all of the lies that he and Obama helped promote during their 8 years while they were in office. The last 4 years of lies the US has made up about Russia, and he's going to continue all of that well into his presidency. We could just look at this article from RT. Putin tells Biden in first phone talks that normalization of Russian-US relations would benefit everyone. Now, this article is going to give you a summary of the phone call from the perspective of both Russia and the United States, because of course, Russia, put out a summary, an official summary of the phone call for the people of Russia, and the White House did the same thing for the people of America. And they're two quite different summaries. So right here, they're going to talk about, the things that Russia wanted to cooperate with the US on, and that Russia's interest in the US returning to the Iran nuclear deal, even though I've already told you the story about that. That was planned to be sabotaged before it was even signed. If you read the Brookings Institution's Which Path to Persia document from 2009, they literally said they were going to create a deal with Iran, deliberately sabotage it, blame it on Iran, and then use that as a pretext to move forward with more aggression. And that is exactly what the US has done since 2009. And then the US turns around and in their statement, they talk about maybe something that they might want to cooperate on, but they also talk about Ukraine's sovereignty, which is interesting because Biden helped destroy Ukraine's sovereignty. They overthrew the elected government of Ukraine in 2014. They installed a neo-Nazi regime, literally a neo-Nazi regime into power, and it has since fluctuated, been in constant chaos in Ukraine. And he's also talking about the SolarWinds hack, alleged interference in the 2020 US election, and Russia placing bounties on US soldiers in Afghanistan. The US soldiers illegally occupying Afghanistan for 2 decades now. So Biden is fully committed to continuing all of the lies about Russia, the continued US aggression against Russia, the US encirclement of Russia, and the US's use of its so-called allies, especially in Europe, Western Europe and Eastern Europe, to use them as battering rams against Russia. And of course, the US continues meddling in the Middle East and Central Asia, including Afghanistan, as part of a wider strategy to encircle Russia and China. Again, people don't realize it, but Afghanistan actually borders China. So this is all going to continue. And I just thought it was interesting. And I'm going to put the links to both of these statements in the video description below. This is the readout of President Joe Biden's call with President Vladimir Putin of Russia. And you'll see here, talking about interference in the 2020 election, the poisoning of Alexei Navalny, and bounties on US soldiers in Afghanistan. All of this is nonsense, confirmed, verified nonsense. The US investigated supposed Russian meddling in US elections for years, and they came up with absolutely nothing. The Alexei Navalny poisoning, that happened under Trump. All of this nonsense about Russia supposedly hacking US elections, this all happened while Trump was in office. The bounties on US soldiers in Afghanistan, that happened while Trump was in office, and the mess in Ukraine happened under Obama, Biden, and continued under Trump, and will continue under Biden-Harris now. So there's that. This is the statement from the Kremlin, and it's all in Russian, but you can just put it through Google Translate or the translator of your choice, and you can see the translation here, and you can see the difference where the US is repeating lies, verified lies, as an excuse to continue being belligerent towards Russia. And Russia's summary of the talk is clearly one that seeks to find any common ground to cooperate with the US on and to diffuse all of this tension. There's nothing really critical at all in here about the US, except for the fact that the US is walking away from nuclear weapon treaties, which, I don't know how you could say anything good about that, but there's plenty of bad things Russia could have said, and they didn't. So it just goes to show you the difference here. And when you look at these two statements side by side, you could see who's creating the problem, who's driving this crisis, and who wants it to continue and who wants it to stop. It's very clear. So I just thought I'd point that out, this theme of continuity of agenda, how US foreign policy continues in a single direction, a single trajectory, if you will, no matter who's in the White House. This is a common theme that I've written about and covered for years and years, and I'm going to continue doing it. And when I see a good example like this, I'm going to point it out. To my Patreon patrons who make these videos possible on a day-to-day basis, thank you so much for that support. If you thought the video was useful, please like and share it. Think about subscribing to the channel. It helps the channel grow. It's totally free to do. Check the video description for the links to the articles that I referenced in today's video. Also, there's ways there on how you can help support my work, like through Patreon, where not only are you helping support my work month to month, but you also get extra content and benefits in return. And to everyone everywhere helping me in every way, thank you so much. I could not do this without your support. I say it every day, but it's absolutely true. And as always, thank you for watching.